Hi fam, welcome back. So let me tell you about this week. This is so funny. Hold on, my camera's all twisted. So this week's video is going to be how I make the pieces of my wash day routine. So there's a recipe for my oil, for the Pre Poo, on and on, Henna Gloss, all the way through what you're going to watch today. But let me tell you why. So last week, the week was busy. I had to work on Saturday. So Sunday came around and I didn't do wash day, right? I'm just chilling, laying around, watching TV, watching Netflix and chill type day, right? So this whole week has been my wash day. So I pre-pooed, I slept in it. I wore a wrap to work the next day. No, I didn't actually go into the office the next day, so that was cool. Then I put my deep conditioner in. Here's the lesson. I slept in it. I didn't put the heat on it. I just slept in it, washed it out the next morning, did my twist out, and then this is me. I just took the twist out. It's Friday. It literally has taken me all week to do what I normally do in one day because I've been piecemealing it. So note to self, if you can fit it in on a Sunday, just get up and get it done. Otherwise, you're going to drag it out all week. But back to the lesson. What I learned this week, I didn't put the heat on my hair for my deep conditioner. And when I took my twists out, let me tell you, this is so dry. Now, I just put the product in it, so you can kind of, it's not like brittle dry, but it does not feel right. And the only thing I didn't do that I normally do is sit under the dryer with my deep conditioner in. So note to self, note to everybody else, do not skip the deep conditioning step. And the other thing is, like 2 weeks ago or the week before, I only sat under the dryer for like 15 minutes because, again, busy day, whatever. But that 15 minutes makes a world of difference. So it's better, for my hair at least, to sit under the dryer with your deep conditioner for 15 minutes than to sleep in the deep conditioner and take it out. I could feel it. My very first twist, when I went in to take that very first twist out this morning, it was dry. So that's the lesson there. You're going to see all the recipes, so please stay tuned and keep on watching.
And hold me in your pretty little arms and indulge me with another slip of money. I don't wanna suffer here in silence. I just wanna know.
Okay, so we are going to start with the oil. I have this is shea, the shea portion of the oil. We're going to melt it. We get ours from Amazon, this ancient healing remedies. I'll see if I can find it and link it below. But this little castor oil pot, or not castor oil, this little cast iron pot I got from Amazon. I got it because I read something somewhere that said you should really manage henna in cast iron. I got it and then I rarely use it for that, but I do use it to heat up the components of the oil, specifically the coconut oil and the shea, because I don't know, I just think it's cute, me and my cute little things. So here we go. We're going to put all of these in. We'll melt that little bit of shea down. Put the peppermint, the olive oil, the coconut oil, and the Jamaican black castor oil in. Now here, the darker the JBCO, the better. So you want to get the darkest JBCO you can. My henna, we put that in there. But the castor oil, I get that from Rooted Treasure. I will link them below. They have the purest form of it. The reason castor oil is so good is because it's not refined, unlike an olive oil. Like castor oil is the closest you can get to the natural version of that oil. So I like Rooted Treasure. You can get it online, and I'll put the website below. So I put the henna in. That's probably a heaping teaspoon. I have those popsicle sticks that I love to use. So we'll mix it all together and we'll come back with it prepared.
Whether you reciprocate my signs and...
Okay, so we're finishing up the oil, put it in a jar and put it aside. And then I'll start the pre-poo process. Now, the pre-poo is what you put on before you shampoo your hair. What you're really doing with the pre-poo is you're coating the strands of your hair so that when you go into the shower or wash your hair in the sink and you go through the process of shampooing is stripping your hair. You want to build it, you want to break it down so you can build it back up, but this Pre Poo adds a layer of protection between your strands and the shampoo so you don't experience breakage. Now this is just a little quick aside. I'm at the end of a candle that I like the jar for. So here's how I get those candles, how I get those jars. I'll freeze the candle, I'll break it up, clean it out, and then I have a new jar that I can use for the next step in my process. So here I'm taking the aloe vera leaf, we're cutting it up, I'll dissect it, get the insides out. I preserve mine with some saran wrap. Just stick a little bit of saran wrap over the end of what's left of that aloe vera leaf and put it in the refrigerator for next week. Carve your aloe vera leaf as best you can. I've seen different ways and approaches to it. I just do it the way that I think I can get the most pulp out, which is cutting each of the edges off and then kind of skinning it. Put that aloe vera leaf, the insides of it, into a blender, a little bit of that oil, conditioner. Here I'm going to use 2 different conditioners. That's really just because I was at the end of the bottle of the Tresemme and I add a little bit of that Shea Moisture conditioner into it. Put it in the blender, blend it up really well until it becomes a creamy consistency, and now you have the Pre Poo that you can put on your hair to protect it before you shampoo.
If it's worth the talk, you turn me on when I'm not. It's always on.
Okay, now it's time for the world famous Henna Gloss. This really is the pièce de résistance for strength in your hair. That henna really bonds to the strands in your hair. The nice thing about henna is that it will repair gaps in your hair. So sometimes what I'll see is I have a strong shaft, it gets a little separation, and then it binds back together. So I have like a little loop in my hair. Well, that henna is what really helps repair that. It's one of the only ingredients that I'm aware of that will give you that result when you apply it to your hair. So here we take the henna, a little bit of aloe vera juice, the fenugreek seeds that have been soaking in aloe vera juice. There's a recipe for that later in this video. I have a much stronger blender this week, which makes my life easier. So I put it in the NutriBullet, really grind it up well so that I don't end up with those seeds in my hair like you've seen in previous videos. So my lesson learned here, I started today with a lesson learned. I'll add one here. Use a strong blender, just save yourself the headache. And then at the end, you see it comes out much more creamy than we saw before. And you don't have to do as much work between creating the henna gloss and applying it to your hair. Now here, you'll see how I get those last little bit of seeds out so that I don't end up washing my hair either for an hour or multiple washes. You take what you pulled out of your blender. I have a little tiny hand sifter and one of those little jars, and then a spatula. Just scoop it out, put it in the sifter, and then get the cream out of the other end of it. That will make it a much easier process when you get into the shower and you actually get the henna on your hair. Yes, it adds an extra step. It probably adds a good 20 minutes to the process, but you'll see there the seeds are left in the sifter and they're not left in your hair. So we go ahead, finish that all the way through. That beautiful, beautiful creamy consistency comes out the other end. And now you have something that you can use that is not a pain in the butt to try to get out. There it is, just sitting waiting for me. Okay, somebody asked me, how do you wear your hair when you're in the middle of this long wash day routine and you got to go do something? So here is one of my looks. If I can turn, I don't even know what the back looks like, but maybe you guys can see. Oh, we got some kittens back there. So I have a henna gloss in right now, which came out beautifully. That's the end of the jar of my henna gloss. It came out beautifully. It was so creamy. It was beautiful. So I just put it in. I wrap my hair with saran wrap. This is my Costco size roll of saran wrap that I just opened a brand new one of. So I put my henna gloss on. I wrapped it. And then this is actually a scarf I sleep in. And I put a bun in the front. There's a hair tie around it. You can't see it, which is good. And I'm about to run out and put a little bit of color on my lips, put some earrings in, and let's go. So now we create that, the soft fenugreek seeds and the aloe vera juice that I use. Now you've probably seen this in a previous clip, but since this whole video is about the recipes for the components of my wash day, I thought it made sense to put it in here again. I take a couple scoops of fenugreek seeds. That is another candle. That jar actually used to be a candle. You saw how I froze and got the contents out of that in the earlier part of this clip. Pour some aloe vera juice over the fenugreek seeds, and then just let them sit. Let them sit for 3 or 4 days. They will soften up nicely. You can then grind them up and use them in your henna gloss, and I'll use the aloe vera juice for a spray throughout the week. The very last step is the deep conditioner. So I'm going to use the Shea Moisture Hydrating Conditioner this week, add some of that oil pudding to it, mix it up and let it sit for a little bit. Now this I usually do while I have the henna gloss in, so it doesn't sit for very long. Just mix them together. I find that you have a much more pleasant experience with hydration when you add the oil to it. And then here I just wanted to show you a couple clips of what the curl pattern looks like once you finish all of this when you're out and about.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week exploring and explaining and learning together. Have a good week. Bye.